Hey fragrance fanatics and friends, welcome back to the Centaur Fragrance channel. It's Benjamin here again, back at it, and today we're going to be talking about Onyx from the house of Ricardo. Now, I don't know if y'all have heard about this brand. It's a brand new brand. I did my first impressions video. If you haven't seen that yet, I will link it in the description down below if you want to watch that one and come back real quick. But this is a really nice fragrance. I fell in love with this one and Turbulent. I just had to buy this one. I did get a discount, but in full disclosure, I paid for this 100%. So Onyx, let me read you the notes real quick. Ginger, bergamot, and lemon is off the top. Then you get spices, white pepper, basil, violet in the mid notes, tonka bean, Tahitian vetiver, and cedar in the base notes. Now the notes aren't everything, and y'all know that if you watch my channel. What really matters is how it's blended, the percentages, like what the perfumer actually decided to use. Did they use very little of those notes? Did they use a lot? What type of note did they use? But what comes off to my nose in this fragrance is more of a dark tonka. Now this isn't a dark tonka that almost becomes gourmandish and almost becomes like rich, like a vanilla, like a dark vanilla boozy bean, you know, something like Spiritus Double Vanille. This doesn't go in that direction. To me, the tonka here is very interesting. It almost tries to become patchouli-like, and it almost has this dark, modern, patchouli-faceted kind of quality about it. Or maybe there's some secret hidden notes, but it kind of has a touch of just a little bit in the background of like what Tom Ford likes to do with some of their fragrances, their private line, that I like so much, but they're pricey. Honestly, this juice is wonderful. It's you would think it's more fresh. Honestly, it doesn't come off that fresh. There's some freshness off the top with the ginger and the lemon, and you know, some of those citrus notes. And the ginger does hold on for a little bit of the fragrance, but it really goes away quite quickly. And then what you're mostly left with is this like dark, interesting tonka bean that's you know, trying to be a little bit dark, but not quite there. I don't really notice any of the basil. The white pepper adds a little bit, maybe. A little bit of, you know, the openness and a little bit of the roundedness on the edges. You can notice it with the opening, adding a really full body to the opening, which I really like, and I think that's very well composed with this fragrance. But as it dries down, I really don't just notice any of that Tahitian vetiver, and maybe it's the cedar. Maybe the cedar's a little bit smoky as well. I do think it's a tiny bit waxy. But overall, I'm criticizing and getting into the nitty-gritty. What you're mostly going to smell out of this fragrance is a sweet, very, very modern, woody, semi-dark kind of fragrance that's playful, has a touch of sweetness that almost comes off as like natural sweetness. And it's just so good. I don't know how to describe it. If you don't know what onyx means, look it up. It's a certain type of stone, and it's often a word that's connected to like resilience and strength and determination. So this is a bold fragrance. It's supposed to be charismatic. Again, with Ricardo fragrances, I feel like they're a little bit more, we'll talk about that in the performance side, a little bit more on maybe the synthetic side, but not unpleasantly so. If you're a picky, nitty-gritty fragrance lover, you're going to notice that this has synthetics, and maybe it's mostly synthetics, but you're also going to be able to tell that it has longevity. And let's jump to the performance section. But again, I just do want to tell y'all that this fragrance, if you just look at the notes, there's a lot more going on, and it's going to smell different from what you're expecting. Mostly a dark, semi-dark, almost like incensey, almost like woody fragrance that's still somehow playful. It still somehow comes off as light. It's got that white and black kind of effect going on. So with the performance, this is easily a 7 to 9 hour fragrance. It didn't give me as much performance as the Turbulent. The Turbulent is kind of chaotic off the top. And I feel like it maybe comes off as a little bit stronger. This fragrance is no joke either. Both of them are 24% concentration. And this one just it doesn't project as much as the Turbulent, but it still will get noticed. It's still about average projection, and the sillage is above average, and you're easily going to get 7 to 9 hours. If you spray a lot of this on, especially on clothes, you can easily, you know, get through 8 hours plus. So there's no doubt that there's performance here, but not as much as the Turbulent. That's the strongest of the bunch, in my opinion. But good fragrance. I really do enjoy it. Compliment factor wise, it didn't get noticed that much because it just didn't really draw people. in unless I got close to them. If they got close to me, it's kind of the opposite of turbulent. With turbulent, I could walk into a room and I could walk around people and people would catch the sillage. People would start noticing the fragrance and it would do its magic. With this fragrance, it does have decent performance, again, kind of average, but it worked its magic once I got close to people. And I like fragrances that actually speak with me. And that's actually, I think, a real positive thing when a fragrance speaks with you. And then people kind of take notice once you actually have a conversation with them. Then they start smelling your fragrance. And then you can actually sometimes see people's facial expressions. And they'll be like, oh. And they'll notice that there's something different about this guy. This isn't your average guy. There's something a little bit different about it. So, and then they'll maybe start getting curious. So I think that's always a fun thing. So do your best, guys, and even ladies. Again, this is a genderless brand. This is all about being you, being yourself, being free. But ladies and gents can wear this one. But if you're a guy, you know, wearing this one, and you identify as a guy, or however you want to say it, this will definitely, you know, draw people in if you get close. So in my opinion, this is a great date night fragrance for those who don't want to smell like a date night fragrance. It's a great fragrance for those who like woody aspects in fragrances, but want something very modern and something very versatile. And it might just appeal to you. And if you're somebody who wants something, I don't know, maybe like a semi-sweet musk, and you always want something that was a second skin, this also could work for you. Now, I do think that these fragrances would do wonderful with layering. I bet, you know, these fragrances, I am going to layer them with other fragrances as well. They are complex. They are standalone fragrances, but how the fragrances come off, they could easily be layered with one another or even other fragrances, at least in my opinion. So, Onyx, interesting juice. I like the name. I like the brand as a whole. We'll talk about the price now real quick and wrap this up. It's about $64 for 50 mils. So to put that into perspective, that's about $128 or so for 100 mils. Now that's definitely entry-level niche pricing. And again, you're really paying for longevity here. A good smell. These are complex. These are well made. You might get nitty-gritty and picky about these not smelling overtly natural, but they do smell of good quality. You know, overall, I'm not going to bash them for that. I'm just saying that some of y'all who are really picky this might not appeal to you, but the longevity is here, and you're getting the performance that you want for you know, a brand. And even if this brand isn't the most, you know, the biggest value for you, you know, it might not be the greatest value for your money. You also might be buying into the brand. You know, this brand has a story. This brand has a message. It has a vision. And that might be something that's really interested into you. I know a lot of you people, a lot of guys out there, or a lot of people, you know, this might not be a brand, and this might not appeal to you. I'm not trying to push any views on you, and I'm not trying to push their image or how they go about things. But there's fragrances for everybody. I see, you know, fragrances are for everybody. They're limitless. But this brand is trying to make a message and stand out and position themselves, you know, with people who want to be free, non-binary, and genderless. So you'll have to decide if that's something, if you care about that, if that's a positive or a negative. But I just care about the juice. And to me, these are pretty good juices for being versatile, very modern, very fascinating. And of course, the longevity is here with these fragrances. So thank y'all so much for being here today. I hope that y'all enjoyed my review. I hope that I made a lot of sense, and I hope that I brought a brand new fragrance to you. I know that not a lot of y'all probably ever heard about these fragrances. I know a lot of y'all probably have never seen these fragrances, and that's what I love to do here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel. I love to bring you something new and give you options and help you find the perfect fragrance just for you. That's what I'm all about. So I hope that you enjoyed my video today. I hope that you liked it. I hope that you're well. I hope that you're safe. Be careful out there, my friends. It's a crazy world. And I'll see you next time, everybody. Wear what you love. Rock what you got. And Nick Ricardo, put a smile on my face. I'll see you next time, everybody. And bye.